afternoon. Discombobulated here. I just wanted to talk a little bit more about my experience yesterday at the Union Hall, and what I learned, and I forgot to mention in the video yesterday, was that they don't do e-verification there because they're non-profit. So it's really become like an underground railroad for illegals to find good work opportunities. So on one hand, I feel good, that there's a program that's, helping people that are trying to get their lives ahead. But I also just makes me wonder about resource allocation and why isn't there a program for washed up old guys like me, And so I just feel as though the Mexicans, the South Americans, the Somalians have just invaded the country, and it's really hard to adapt to it. And I have this feeling kind of like it was one thing when they were just doing all the lawn maintenance and the drywall, but now they're hiring managers and secretaries, and you just kind of run into them everywhere you go. And then they're sort of like the Jewish population in that they hire each other. They look out for each other, and Jose hires his cousin Pedro, and so the white guys have been getting pushed aside and left out of the construction world and other parts of the world. Even I drove by Applebee's this morning, and one of the managers there is a Mexican guy, and I saw his car there, and I was like, this is interesting, man. Like everywhere I look, there's a Mexican at work. And a lot of people say, oh yeah, there's superior hard workers or something, but I don't believe that's true. I just think they drug the wages down, flooded the market, and then just made it damn near impossible to coexist with them. And I've been thinking about, well, geez, Brian, are you going to be sort of bigoted and prejudiced about all this, or what's the best way to handle it? And I had run across, somebody had mentioned something the other day, and it was I wrote it down. Even they said when you're dealing with an issue, to pause, think with your heart, and ask yourself, what would Jesus do? So it's hard to put Jesus in my shoes here, where let's just imagine Jesus is a carpenter, right? And Jesus goes to look for a job, and he finds that he can't get one here and can't get one there because, Pedro and Carlos are working there. And, so everywhere he goes there in Bibletown, he just runs into Mexicans working all the jobs, and they don't really want to give him a chance because he's older and he's a white guy. And I was just thinking of the look on that secretary's face yesterday. It was like, what are you doing in here type of deal, And my brother related a story to me of down there in Florida where we had done screen enclosures for a long time, and my brother had a screen enclosure business and did a lot of rescreening, and there was these HOAs and communities that he worked in. And he one time he told me he ran across a Mexican crew that was working in there, and they stopped him on the road and told him that was their territory, and that he needed to stay out of there. So basically strong-arming him, So I think that, they're hostile invaders, basically. And okay, well, I'm supposed to be thinking like Jesus here, right? So I just don't even know what Jesus would do there. I feel angry about it, And I wish I could work for ICE. I wish I could just grab them and throw them out of here, throw them back. When I watch ICE on TV, I'd like to see them kicking in and out. I like it when they treat them rough and yank them out of their cars, because I feel like they've affected my life so much, And I have a lot of examples. And especially there in South Florida, you just seem to run into it, They could be a real cocky bunch, especially if they get in charge. They get tyrannical. I mean, white guys get tyrannical too, but there's something about that macho energy of that Latin culture that's, it's not even the kind of Latin energy or the male energy that I want. But I guess Jesus would, I don't know, maybe just start his own business or find a workaround, or just to learn to love Pedro and Jose and Carlos. I don't know, maybe you all have some thoughts on that. Well, thinking of male energy, I had come to get my testosterone tested this morning, and I did. I don't know what the results are yet, but I'm super excited. And then I have my talk therapy appointment. I could just mention it to her, but she's Spanish too. Her name is Maria. It's kind of funny. All the girls that work in the office here, they're all Spanish, but they're super nice. They're super nice to me. I like the women, the Spanish women, quite a bit. And like when I come in, they're like, "Hey, Brian," like they remember my name and everything and treat me good, And I was thinking about how I said that there was a greasy Mexican that came in the office with me yesterday, and what I meant by that is, like, if you've seen one of those old spaghetti westerns, or especially one Clint Eastwood one where I think he was involved, he got involved, the bad guys were like a band of Mexicans and banditos or whatever you want to call them, and they were depicted like their skin was always like real shiny and greasy looking, and they were like real big, and it just reminded me of that, but I really don't want to feel this way, but I'm not sure what to do about it. I wish it wasn't happening. I don't even know. It's very confusing. I'm just very confused about it. Well, that's all I got for now. And another thing is, I started to do something about some women that I knew in the past, and I was out rock hounding, and somehow I got a really crummy phone. It's just a really cheap little Android, and it doesn't want to focus well, and somehow it got stuck in like vertical mode or something. So the whole time I was filming horizontal and talking and whatnot, and then it's all like upside down, when I loaded it up on YouTube. So I had to nix the whole video, and but that video's coming soon. I think I'm ready to tackle it, and I wanted to talk specifically about a concept called sex bombing, where a woman will just basically just carpet bomb you with sex into just doing whatever they want you to do, basically. So I kind of can't wait to tell you guys about that. I just really have to get my thoughts organized around it, and it's probably gonna be sort of R-rated, so I got to be careful there. I got to make sure it's not X-rated, or maybe try to put it more PG or something. So, well, okay, I'm just gonna let it go there. We'll see you next time.